Photosynthesis and cellular respiration. That finishes out the first half of the class. So let's jump into the module overview. So this is where the energy comes from, right? Um, we're talking about cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Now, I don't know why the book starts with cellular respiration. If I would have started, I would have started with photosynthesis because photosynthesis makes the world go round, right? Um, the book does it the other way around. It first talks about glucose and how ATP, how glucose is converted to ATP, and then chapter 7 talks about the photosynthesis and the role of photosynthesis in your life. Your module activities this time are, again, you're going to look at the helpful resources, read chapter 6 and 7, the sample questions, mastering biology. You have a demonstration section that will help you with the assignments. Do the in-class exercise. I'll talk to you about that. This is just a resource review. And then once you pass chapter 7 quiz with 80%, you'll get access to the assignments part 2. The from mouth to ATP, that's probably the most it's one that people struggle with. The compare contrast photosynthesis and cellular respiration, if you're paying attention, shouldn't really be all that difficult. Background and lecture info. Click here for the materials in the folder. You have a tour guide again that may help you figure out what's important and what's not. This time you have assignment materials here. For the from mouth to ATP, you have images that help you. And then there is an in-class exercise. There's a document there that can help you with that too. There's a lecture of chapter 6. For chapter 7, unless I post a lecture between now and the time you get to that, you may have to rely on Hank. I may post him. Then you've got the ebook. In your demonstration, talk about mitochondria, glycolysis, and here's crash course photosynthesis with Bill Nye. So you're getting your photosynthesis fix, even if you're not getting it from me. And then you've got the assignments, right? And I'm going to go in here to look at the assignments from here. So the assignments part 1 are the chapters. Chapter 6 activities are oh, those are not here yet. But yes, those are not here yet. Never mind. So chapter 6, assignment part 1 are the quizzes, the core content. Chapter 6 is it's mastering, but it's a slightly different mastering kind of thing, and it actually counts. Oh, this counts actually as an activity. Then you've got chapter 7. The in-class exercise is a little different from what you normally see. But what the in-class exercise is, you have a document, and it's the document that's in your, you have a document, it's the in-class exercise material. And this in-class exercise asks you basically to label this document. And you can do so by literally thinking through it. So what I want you to do is I want you to think through what this is, what these parts are, and then figure it out based on what you already know. And I promise you, you know a whole lot about photosynthesis and cellular respiration already. All of you already know what you're breathing in, what you're breathing out. All of you already know what plants breathe in, what plants breathe out, and what powers plants. And with that as a tool, you can get a really long way with this. Use the symbols as little hints, and this is where you're filling in basically those numbers and those images. That's the in-class exercise. When you're done with the in-class exercise, you can look it up in the book. So there's no reason to get that wrong, right? And then once you looked at photosynthesis and cellular respiration, you'll find that they have lots of aspects. They look like opposites in some ways, but they actually have very similar things that are happening. And I want you to kind of look at that and kind of gather that, um, realize that. And then again, once you've done, once you've managed to pass this chapter 7 quiz with an 8 or above, you get access to part 2. So I'm going to have to do the quiz real quick now. And so once you gain access to part 2, you then have the assignment Big Picture Cellular Respiration from Mouth to ATP. So this one's sort of big. You look at the assessment. Um, Watching some of the videos will help with that. Think about calories in, calories out. Think about where the fuel comes from. You're putting fuel in your mouth. So um, think about these questions. Think about the path of sugar from your mouth. Where does it go? How would it get to a muscle cell? How would energy get to a muscle cell? And where is the ATP then produced? So see if you can, without saying, oh, somehow, if you can follow a sugar molecule that goes onto your lips all the way on its way to where it becomes ATP. So, or where ATP is being produced, because the sugar doesn't turn into ATP, right? Where is the ATP produced? But tell me the whole path and all the parts that are in there. So this is worth 20 points. So this is sort of a big thing to do. To help you try to figure out who all is involved in this, you have these assignment materials. All these documents are the same. Um, but it gives you a little bit of an idea who the players are that I want you to consider here, right? So think about the mouth and the digestive system. Think about the parts of the digestive system. Think about where glucose is. Think about how it gets into the muscle cell. Um, think about where it needs to be so it can be converted into ATP. So all of that kind of thing. And then once you get to that, then we're just comparing and contrasting cellular respiration. What do they have in common? How are they different? Um, they look like they're opposites, but some of the structures are very much the same. So tell me about that. And that's all for that week.